Hi friends, welcome back to the Programmer Guide YouTube channel. As of now, we have covered the all Stream API related methods and other Java features, Java 8 features. So now we are going to discuss about the date and time API in Java 8. So Java 8 has been introduced new date and time API. This new API is inspired by the popular JodaTime library. The JodaTime library is a third-party library where other major projects are going to be used. Okay, but instead of using other third-party library, right? So Java itself has been provided support for that all the features which is there in JodaTime API. It was added overcome the drawbacks of existing API. So if you see right, existing API drawbacks in date and time API, right? So till Java 1.8, with respect to thread safety, the existing date and time calendar classes are not thread safe and required additional effect to handle the concurrency related programming. And also time zones. The old API is not provided any time support for time zones. The new zoned time class supports the zones as well. Okay, and other improvements has been came into the other improvements are not going to be supported in old APIs. The new API meets the ISO standards and it is easy to understand. It provides a lot of methods, manipulated date and time API. The existing API is difficult to use, understand and compare to the new API. Okay, let's see the what are the advantages of using the Java 8 date and time API. Let's see the immutability. All the classes in new date and time API are immutable. So good for multi-threaded environments. So it is not going to be create any concurrency exceptions. Okay. Separation of concern. Separation of concerns is nothing but the new API separates clearly between the human readable date and time and mission time. It defines separate classes for the date, time and date and time, timestamp, time zone, other classes. Utility operations. All the new date and time API comes with methods to perform common tasks such as plus, minus, format, parsing, getting and separate part in date and time API. Clarity. Since all the Java 1.8 data API uses the good practices, that means good design patterns, factory design pattern and strategy design pattern for better handling. Once you have used to these methods of the class, right, working with other classes won't be hard. Okay, extendable. The new date and time API works on ISO 8601 calendar system, but we can use it for other non ISO calendars as well. Some important date and time APIs are local date, local time, local date and time class, zone time and class, period, duration, and chrono units enum. So these are I am going to be explained with examples. Let's come back to the example. Yeah. See here, right, in first example, local date example. So local date represents year, month, day in ISO calendar and it is useful for representing the date without a time. It can be used to represent a date only information such as birth date or wedding date, some other kind of. Okay, so let's see the example. So local date dot now use the current date. Okay, local date of whatever the year and month and day you are giving, right, in this format. So it will give the, it will return the current date. Okay, so let's run this specific date. Okay, the current date is 23/9th September 5th 2023. Okay, and specific date means I have specified in this way. So like 2023 January 1st, so it has been displayed. Okay, and also, right, it will provide the zoned base also. See, I have presented Asia Kolkata zone base, right? It is a IST has been written here. Okay, and local date of 2027 140 day. What is the date of 140 day? Okay, like 2017 May 20 is the 140th day of given date. Likewise you can find it. Okay, local date is having the many number of methods, you can play with around them. Okay, so here, right, suppose if you are giving the any invalid inputs, right, it will throw the date time exception, invalid date February. Suppose, right, 2014 is not a leap year, so you are giving the 29. So if it is not a 29, so it is going to invalid error. Okay, suppose, right, so September is having the 30 days. So if I give the 31, right, 31, let's see what it will return. The exception. That means invalid date September is not having 31st. So such a way it will give invalid also. So let's come back to the local time example, how you can get the time details. Okay, if you run this, I mean local time dot now, it will give the current time. Okay, and also I have discussed about this, right, local date and time. So local date and time is going to be provide the current date and time. So if you want, right, you can get the any number of any of the data, like month, what is the month, day, get the day of the month. So and current date dot get hours, minutes, seconds, nanoseconds also you can get it. So let me run this program. See September and day of the month 5th, hours 20. So now it is 8:45, right? 8:45 means 20 minutes 45 seconds 30 nanoseconds also it has given. Okay, so you can play with this code, like you can type in your Eclipse or any other editors, right? You can practice this, so you will get to know how you need to work with. Okay, suppose, right, if I want to correct I mean specific format of the date, right, you can use that date time formatter. So date time formatter earlier also you are having. So in this way, right, current date, current means whatever we have in current date, right, dot format of format. So this is the date formatter, date formatter dot pattern, which pattern you want. So this is the pattern, that means day, month, year and hours, minutes, seconds. So this is the formatted pattern you have been getting. So if you want slash base, right, you can get that format also. Okay, local specific date with month of with year. So I mean what it means, it will print the date with current time, whatever the you have specified, right. So that date it is going to be print, so it will give the current date and month of the year. So likewise you can use. So now we will see the zone example. So zone example means it combines the local date time class with zone information given zone id class. It represents a complete date time timestamps along with the time zone information. If you see, right, zone date time is the class. So current zone dot get now. So we will see what will get the of our current zone. It need to be print the IST zone. See, current zone is Asia Calcutta. Exactly, that is correct. So now getting time zone of specific place where with zone instant here, right, zone same instant. So whatever the specific zone, right, zone id dot zone id is the one of the class. So zone id dot of given zone. Okay, so it will give that zone information. I mean it will go to the zone id and zone date time current zone dot with zone same instant. So current zone is the Tokyo time zone, and there the time is 12:18. That means it is ahead of our Indian time, right? Before of our Indian time, right? So it is like age. And suppose, right, if we want to print the US time, so US zone ID you need to get. In the world, you can get any zone ID based on that time and date you can get to know. So I have used the formatted here month, date, year format, since Americans are going to be used in this format. Okay. Now period and duration example we can see period and duration classes. So if you want to calculate some years, right, or months, right, you can use this. So period is used to define the difference between the dates in the based on the values. Okay, so like local date dot now means current date it will give. Local date 2 equals to local 1988 June 15th. Okay, so now what is the difference between how many years are there, how many months are there, how many days are there, we can get to know. See, the period is the class. Period dot between, there is a so many methods are there. I have taken one of the method. Okay, so date, from date, and to date, if you give in this format, right, so the gap between the dates is 35 years 2 months and 21 days. Suppose I have given example for the duration also. So local time 1. So duration means whatever the operation, right, you can increase the time or decrease the time, plus minus anything you can give it. Okay, what I meant to say is local time is 8, right, I need to add 5 hours, so it is going to display the ahead. So now it is the 8:50, right, when I run this program it has been displayed 150 of the date. So suppose, right, if you minus the time, right, if you plus that time it is going to display. So if you want to minus, right, you can do minus also. Time 3 current time minus 5 hours. So now 8 o'clock, right, 8 minus 5 it need to be displayed. See, now 20 hours, right, if you see it is going to display minus 5 hours. So it can be work in this way. Now I'm going to explain the another important one is chrono units enum okay, the chrono unit enum is added in Java 8 to replace integer values in old API to represent day, month and extra. Suppose, right, whatever the you already used the existing APIs in our projects, right, to support the backward compatibility, right. So chrono unit enum will provide that. Okay, how it is going to provide? So local date dot now it will give the current date. Okay, local date plus 2 chrono units. Suppose if you want to add the 2 years, right, you can add. Let me execute. Current date, if you are going to add the chrono units dot 2 years, right, plus. So if you want to adding the 1 month to the current date, so current month is 9th, right, if you add 1 month it is going to be October. So suppose, right, adding the 1 week of current date, so after 1 week it is the 12th. Now if you see, right, 5 and 12. Okay, in this way chrono unit is going to be enum is going to be work. Okay, here, right, the date not only plus, you can do minus also. If you like content of the video, please like, share and subscribe my channel for future videos. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care. Bye bye.